welcome to another NewsX podcast episode. I'm joined by Dr. Tanya Bakshi, and she's a director reproductive medicine and onco fertility at Max. And she's also a Shakti awardee at the We Women Want Conclave 2026. And she's got the award for reproductive medicine and an oncology. Ma'am, absolute honor and pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much.
Namaskar, and it's my honor, and I'm humbled to be here as well. Thank you.
Ma'am, let me start off this discussion for the award that you got, the Shakti Award. I want to understand from you, for young women, what would you tell them about starting their journey or understanding their reproductive health?
I think just like we know a woman goes through the entire spectrum from her teenage years to her adulthood, to her reproductive years, to the perimenopause, to the menopause, I think this conversation should start way early while we're in school. And I think we need to understand that it's really a continuum of care and it is holistic care, and reproductive medicine and sexual health is just a part of that care. And I think when we talk reproductive medicine, we should also be empowering our girls to talk about sexual health. Because with not only the younger generation, which is open, which is voicing their opinion, and they're coming to us to get their queries rather than just going on to ChatGPT or going on to Insta Reels, I think it's important to get their information from the right kind of specialists. So not every woman who comes to us with irregular cycles will have an issue of hormonal imbalance, which was initially called PCOS and now is called PMOS. So now we know it is a continuum of a hormonal imbalance, which is at the endocrine level, which is the glands in our body, which is at the metabolic level, which is not only insulin resistance, but could be other parameters like being in a pre-diabetic state or having abnormal lipids, to a problem with the ovaries, which could then impact whether you release an egg every month, which is called ovulation, and hence impacting your reproductive health, and to later on to issues, for example, issues with pregnancy, issues with your perimenopause, issue with menopause, risk of certain cancers as they become older if they're not having regular cycles. So we need to be mindful of our condition. And just like we say, not one size fits all, not every woman is same. No teenager is same, no young adult is same, and no reproductive medicine patient is same. So you must see the doctor and know what is your individual concern.
Very, very interesting over there. But I want to then understand, do you think in today's generation, people have become more open? They are more willing to discuss such things?
Definitely, I think they're aware and they are open and they're free to ask what their mind is asking them. In our days, we would have a question and sometime, it would be just our friends, our families, or our aunts, and it wasn't very open to talk about whether it is even, a sexual health, whether we're finding it difficult to conceive because of whatever reasons. It was also to accept whatever is being told, we don't speak about it. Our generation today is empowered to seek the questions, not only for their overall reproductive health, but also they want to manage their careers, they want to multitask, they want to be a complete woman, and a complete woman takes charge of her body. Just like we take charge of our families, we take charge of our careers, we take charge of our friends, we must take charge of our own health. So yes, they're aware, they're coming with their questions, and they're coming to ask even things like if they wanted to freeze their eggs. Should they do it? Is it right for them? What is the best age? And I think before we were talking about preventive medicine in different spectrum, be it with obesity, be it with cardiac health, be it with cancers. But now I think we've come to the era where even with reproductive health, there is a spectrum there is a age-defining moment. We know the younger we are, we have better eggs, we have better quality of eggs. Everything is about the quality. So if we know that we're at the right age, and if we're considering a treatment, be it egg freezing, be it having children, or be it postponing it for the time where we may not be ready, it doesn't have to just be a career decision or a financial decision. It could be, I want to pursue my master's, and I may not be in a position to take care of a baby right now. So is my egg reserve okay? How would you get that answer? And I think the younger generation is coming to seek those answers and to understand that what is the reserve for that person, because not every 25-year-old will have the same egg reserve, not every 30-year-old, and not every 35-year-old. But what I'd like to tell everyone here is, we know that there is a peak time for a fertility. It may not be the best time to be a mother for you, but if it's the best time for your fertility, then seek that treatment. For example, egg freezing at 25 would give you a different result as egg freezing at 35, and more so different at 45. So you may freeze your eggs in your late 20s or early 30s, and then actually become a mum in your 40s using the earlier frozen eggs with that kind of result for you. Because I think getting into any situation, be it a career, be it a job, be it education, be it a family, a marriage, or even motherhood, you should be ready for it in your complete sense, not because someone tells you so, because you want to be there.
Sure. So, ma'am, before we wrap this up, some really enlightening words there by you. But what drove your journey? What inspired you throughout your life?
For me, I would say that my pillars and my inspiration have been my mum and my dad. And I know we all say that behind, every successful girl, be it a little girl, be it her dad, be it her mom, I would also like to say is my husband and my boys, who have also gone through this journey with me as a doctor. So for any working woman, we have to multitask at every level. So just comes with our passion, comes some sacrifices, which the whole family has to do. And I think also your girl gang, and I've always said this, the biggest cheerleaders for a girl is also the girls she's surrounded with. And I know if you believe in yourself and if you love what you do truly, it could be anything. Just enjoy what you do. And I think the life lights up for you. For me, also, I see every woman as, be it Jhansi Ki Rani, be it Mother Teresa, be it Ma Kali, be it Ma Tara. I think we are like Durga. We have something which is unique to women. Our 2X chromosomes are fabulous. We can multitask, we can manage everything. But I think there are times where we're vulnerable as well. And I think it's okay to understand that even the strongest woman can have times where she does need the support. So come out, seek the support, and get the support. Because perfection comes in every possible way. Just like हम कहते हैं, चांद पे भी दाग है, but सबसे खूबसूरत चांद ही है. Thank you and namaskar.
Fabulous session, ma'am. Thank you so much. An honor to have you here.
Thank you once again. And thank you to all of you in NewsX for having me here. And thank you for this incredible award. I think it is kudos and cheers to every woman, including you, to every Nari out here.
Thank you so much,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Means a lot.